Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me on another episode of Read Me Live. I am your host, Sharifa Hardy, and I know I say it every time, but I'm going to say it this time. This is a very special show for me, and I love when I have the opportunity to have one of my dear friends on and introduce the world to the people that I love. And I've known my next guest, I think about 8 years now. I'm not sure, something like that, but she's incredible. She's amazing. Miss Elizabeth Brodnos. Good afternoon, Elizabeth. How are you?
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas.
Yes. Merry Christmas.
I love it. That's a sign. We always look for signs and symbols during every show, and that's the sign that you are prepared, you are ready, you don't wait until the last minute.
It's Christmas Day every day in my house, so it's great.
Is that actually there
Yeah.
all year round?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's
Mhm.
kind of cool. I love
Yep.
that.
Yeah. So we don't wait till Christmas just to give presents. Yeah.
That's so wonderful. Is that like more like your mom, your dad? How did that come about?
No, I actually just started that. Well, it was after my mom's passing, but I think we've had it up for like maybe 3 years now.
Okay.
I don't know. We just like the Christmas ambiance, and we have the lights come on automatically for a few hours, so it's nice to just sit and relax in front of the tree. So instead of doing it for a month, we could just do it all year long and have fun. And then we surprise each other with presents, so it's really fun. Yeah. So no pressure during Christmas.
I
Mhm.
love it. And one of the things that I truly enjoy, because I was raised Muslim, I don't know if you know that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was. And in Al Islam, there is no Christmas, there is no Christmas tree. And, as a child, it was very difficult. But one of the things that I learned as I grew and became older is it wasn't just about the tree, it wasn't just about the gifts. I love the holidays,
Mhm.
because all the music changes and the people are more just open, more friendly, and it's more about, I think, the Christmas spirit and the holiday
Mhm.
spirit than just one particular day.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've been stalking you. I've been watching you. You've been traveling. You've been all over the
Oh.
world making things happen.
Well, we intended to go for my aunt. I wanted to have my dad to go see her.
Mhm.
Um, well, we're hoping things will turn around for her.
Mhm.
And in the process, it was my dad's anniversary and my birthday, so we
Okay.
kind of all grouped it together, and yeah, it was the best vacation ever. All my cousins came out for me, and we spent a couple days together. So that was, yeah, that to me, that's probably the best vacation I've ever had. To
It was
see all of
beautiful.
them. Yeah.
It was beautiful, and just to watch you, you know what I mean? I don't always get an opportunity to see everyone. Obviously, on social media, there's so many people, there's so many things that happen. Um, and algorithms, different streams, but I saw the way you documented that trip, and those memories will really truly last a lifetime.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, my dad, he supports it, so we had a blast. Yeah.
you know it looked like the one thing that I saw that stood out is that it seemed like you were having so much fun together. You were like, dad and I are doing this, dad and I are doing that. You were all over the place, but you had fun. You had on different hats, different clothes. um it just looked like you have fun together.
Hmm. Well,
Yes.
I had to return to my hometown to visit
Mhm.
the culture and all that stuff. There, it's a lot of Italian restaurants back there. But yeah, we went to all of his old hangouts, his old town where he used to live. So we went down memory lane, and he was so elated and happy that he was able to take me down memory lane, and we went with one of his childhood friends when we did that.
Oh, wow.
So that was even more momentous to be able to do that. And then we stayed with one of his college buddies, and we spent more time together connecting, and Jim was so excited to actually spend one-on-one time with me, getting to know me better. And it's so funny because we have this running gag. When I was a little kid, when I
Mhm.
was 7, my grandpa had said that I was the perfect child, right? And
Okay.
my aunt, teases my dad about it because she had didn't have great kids. But then Jim tells me that I'm the perfect daughter. So that's
Oh,
confirmations that I'm a really good daughter for my dad raised me right. Oh, my mother too as well. But
yes.
I'm so grateful that I was able to move out to California
Mhm,
after the steel industry died, and I'm in a much better place
mhm.
now in life. Yeah.
I agree. Perfect child, perfect daughter. You are just incredible because, you know, you being a reader, third generation reader, just a very sensitive person. Sometimes I read into things, right? And so often when you see people with their families, or especially as our parents get older, there are some people who are like, had to take dad to the doctor, I had to do this, or it's more a tone of obligation. And it just seemed as if the two of you were just having this fantastic vacation. It was just seemed like you enjoyed it, as which is different to me than feeling like I have to do this, or I'm only doing it because I'm obligated to do it. It just seems like it was a wonderful trip.
See, I was not raised that way where I had to do it.
Hmm.
We were always helping each other out. So I'm a
Hmm.
very giving person. So no matter what, I will be there for my friends and family.
Hmm.
So it doesn't feel like an obligation. As long as you ask me, I'm more than happy to help out. But you don't need to demand anything. So it's
Hmm.
also how you deliver it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I'm thankful to be raised in a loving, caring family, and we were always there for each other, no matter what. If I
Hmm.
needed help with something, all I had to do was ask my parents. So
Right.
I had that love and support throughout my whole life, and I'm thankful that I still have that, and I give it back as well to the clients that I take care of, to
Hmm.
my family, to my friends when they need assistance. I'm always here to help if I'm available and willing. Yeah.
Yes, I can attest to that because I wanted everyone to meet you. You've always been there for me. You've always supported me in every direction that I've decided to go to. And I was like, okay, the world has to meet Elizabeth. You always check on me, even when we haven't spoken, spoke for some time. I just think you're incredible. And I just love you. I think you're amazing.
Well, 100% I continue to support you. Like, I was so excited to know somebody that was running for governor. And then I was like, oh, I was on vacation when I found out that you didn't want to do it no more. And I was like, oh, I was a little disappointed, but I totally understand where you were coming from, 100%. I mean, I thought that you were strong doing that.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I totally supported what your decision was. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so interesting. And I thank you for saying that because after I decided not to run, more people came to me and said, I'm glad you didn't run because we can't see you in that position. But it's one thing that tends to happen in my family. You know, they're very supportive. I love the way they support me in what I want to do. Um, I will. I'll give you an example. A few years ago, I went to work for the post office, and everybody's like, "Okay, cool. Sharifa's working for the post office. That's what she wants to do." After I stopped working for the post office, then everybody was like, "Yeah, we didn't see you there for a long time," because um, I know my dad especially was saying that he knows many people who, after working years for the post office, had really bad feet and really bad backs from all the walking and all the, because people don't understand. I didn't understand. I thought, I saw my mail carrier. I thought this was a cool, cushy job. It's work, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
honestly did not understand it was that amount of work. And one thing people may not realize is that even when you order something online, it may say you're ordering from FedEx, you are ordering from UPS. But if UPS or FedEx don't go as far into maybe your neighborhood or that destination, they will take the package to the post office and the post office will actually deliver it the final route. So as a
Okay.
postal carrier, we wound up doing, to me it was the packages. It was the packages. I was like, I'm not I'm
Yeah.
that's way too much like work for me. And then I was only there for about 2 months. I'm always changing my mind about what I want to do. I'm happy that I actually found this. But I remember it was a few years ago. maybe 6, 7 years ago. I don't remember, but it was February when we had unusually large amounts of rain.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm out trying to deliver my little mail, and it's night, and the water, the rain is hitting the mail, wiping off the addresses. So I'm in the dark with my phone trying to read the mail and deliver them in the rain. And so I call the station. I'm like, I need help. It's only basically like my first month or so. I'm like, I need help. I need somebody to help. And the supervisor tells me, he was like, Sharifa, there's nobody available to help. You have to deliver every last piece. And I said, okay, fine. I'm going to deliver every last piece, because I knew the last piece that I delivered was going to be the last piece that I ever delivered. And I never went back. And then I remember when I applied for 911 dispatcher, and everybody was like, okay, that's a good job. Sharifa's going to do this work. And then after I didn't get that job, then my dad says to me, he was like, yeah, I didn't think it was a good fit for you. You're too sensitive. And I was like, he keeps telling me stuff after, but at least they allow me to try, But it was funny because I tell people all the time, that wouldn't have been a good job for me, because I would be too involved. I'd be like, get him, girl, run. All the professional, don't let him hit you. Whatever the situation is, I'm always in the middle of it, giving my 2 cents. So again, I love reading for people. I'm a third generation reader. My grandmother, my mother read. So this is what I want to do. My mother told me 20 years ago that I can do it. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I didn't want the people to laugh at me. I didn't want the people to stone me. I think I was stoned in a past life. I don't know. I don't know who does past life regressions. So that could be the thing. But I think more than anything else in this industry, there's a veil of secrecy, and people want to make other people feel like they're the special ones, or they're the only ones who can read the cards. So they keep it kind of secretive. And so that's one reason why now I do live readings, because I feel like if I'm to start doing readings, I want to teach, I want to give a lot of information, and then we could all learn. Maybe there's something that you see in a card that you're like, hey, that card means this to me. And I'm like, cool, I learned that from Elizabeth on that show. And then everybody can learn together. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think with regards to your dad, I think he wanted you to learn the lesson on your own.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. He always says that. He literally says that. I'm like, okay, Dad, but there are some lessons that you could be like, hey, heads up. No heads up. They just let me fall, and then.
Well, I think it's like whenever we hear something from our parents, we take it with a grain of salt, and we're like, yeah, I know. And, it like whenever we hear things, we don't care to hear it. We have to experience it for ourselves to truly understand what we want. And there was an incident that happened when I went up to Big Bear, where my parents told me that my mom slid on black ice in the car, right in front of a cop car. Or in the police station, sorry. And when I was taking a turn, I did a full 360. And like, thankfully I didn't hit any cars, but I remember this story that my parents told me, because they were only telling me as a story, not telling me.
Right.
So I remember that experience in that moment, and I didn't scream. I just relaxed, and I eased my foot off the gas and the brake, and eventually got control, and I was fine. But yeah, it's different when you need to experience it, but I'm thankful that I was able to remember that story and not panic. Yeah.
See, you're just a perfect guest.
That's very sweet. I've never heard that yet.
We just gonna keep adding.
Well, thank you. I accept the compliment. I appreciate that. You're making me tear up over here.
No, don't tear up. The guest yesterday cried. I was like, stop crying. Wait. Stop crying. She was like, no, she was crying. I asked her, did her reading resonate with her? She was like, I'm crying. It resonated with me. I was like, okay, I didn't mean to make you cry. But, that's one of the things that I'm seeing. But no, I said perfect guest, because it just shows who you are in your energy. You know what I mean? You're always looking for the bright side, the best, the highest good. And there are so many people who talk about it, but you're someone who actually does it, and walks the walk.
So I have to contribute that to my mother, actually.
Mm-hmm.
After her passing, which
Mm-hmm.
was 8 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
um, I didn't accept myself because I didn't know myself spiritually. I always saw things. I just didn't fully like, I accept it, acknowledge it. And after her passing, I finally acknowledged myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I chose to focus on the positive since that point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really helped me to get through her passing, because it was hard, but even though all these weird things happen and all this, I don't focus on it. I'm like, no, I choose to focus on the positive.
Mm-hmm.
Like when full moon or alignment or something, so just little weird things happen, and I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna let that get me down. So I am very thankful that I've been staying strong and focusing on positive. Like, I cut all the negative people out of my life. I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I'm in a much better place and a better path. And Gina Almgren has actually helped me a lot with spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and I'm thankful that she's always there to be a helping hand for me. Yeah.
Gina's amazing. She's amazing.
Yes, she's
And
so
I
good.
always tease her because it is so funny, I guess, because that's part of what I say in the show description is that I don't believe in coincidences. There are no coincidences, but it's funny. The story I have with Gina is about holidays, and we were talking about earlier with the Christmas tree about holidays. And I always tease Gina because I'm like, you never forget a holiday. It's Labor Day, and I get a text from Gina. It's 4th of July, Valentine. I love the fact that she never forgets, because so often, especially on holidays, people feel really alone.
Yeah,
We always think about the good times, and we always think about, oh, let me go here, let me go there. There's family. But what about the people who no longer have their parents or no longer have their siblings? I remember one of my dear friends, Mrs. Sally Martin. She passed away at, I think, 98. She was in her 90s, something like that. But this was when I was running for city council, and she believed in me. Mrs. Martin was the one who encouraged me to run for city council. But she was like, we got to get some people to help. And I was like, okay, do you have anyone? She was like, yes, we're going to call John. John's dead. Okay, let's call Maria. Maria's dead. Okay, well, let me see who we could call. Let's call Margaret. No, Margaret. I was like, Mrs. Martin, do you have anybody who's alive who can help us? So,
oh,
it's
yeah,
beautiful to have people like Gina who always just remind you that you are in her thoughts. I think she's one
of
of the most
course. Yes.
amazing
She'll
people.
message me good morning like she did yesterday, and I had to send her like sending hugs. Yeah, she'll
Yes,
she'll send me like these little comments and these funny memes, because she's thinking of me, and it's super sweet. Yeah.
it
I'm
is.
actually seeing her tomorrow.
You're
Yeah.
seeing her tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm helping her out with a project that she's got going on, and I'm assisting her with it. Yeah.
Okay, so when you give her a hug, right?
Hmm.
You give her one for Elizabeth, and then you step back, and then you say, and this one is from Sharifa. I need you to deliver that message.
Okay. Okay. I totally will do that. Yeah.
Thank you. I will see
You're
her
welcome.
soon. I
Yeah.
definitely appreciate that. I
Mhm.
love to just sit and talk for a minute. That's one of the things that I talk about, is because when I first started doing readings, I went straight to the cards. It was like, what do the cards want to say? What are the cards? Now I'm like, let me just sit here for a minute. Let's breathe. Let me connect. So I've been shuffling the cards as we talk. The shuffling for me is my sign to spirit that I'm going to do a reading. It's also a way for me to clear the energy of any previous readings. And it's also a way for me to tune in, tap in, connect to you and your energy. Okay.
Okay.
So I've been shuffling, Elizabeth. The first card that I have is always the issue. So the main issue, the main theme that you have in your life right I love teasing people. I love having fun.
Okay.
Elizabeth's like, I want to have
Holding
fun
in your
too.
suspense. Love. Yep. That's the main thing right now. Love. Yep.
Lovers, the lovers, the lovers, the lovers. And it's beautiful because the lovers just keeps coming up. When I did my very first one on the show with Salim Amir Bey, I showed everybody, I said the reason why I got this deck to begin with is because of the lovers card. And I just fell in love with this whole deck. And I love the lovers because it's about choices. And you could just see how they're staring at each other face to face. And when you're that close and you truly see someone, you can see everything about them. You can see the good, the bad, the ugly, but you still love them anyway. So for me, the lovers is always about choices. And it's about loving someone the way God loves us. God doesn't say, okay, well, I can't love you because, no, you too short, you too tall, you too fat. No, God just loves us. So that's what the lover symbolizes. So then when I did Salim's reading and I showed him the box, I was shuffling and then the lover's card jumped out. I was like, oh my God. So I put it back in the deck and then I'm shuffling and talking and I just looked down and the lover's card was at the bottom. I'm like, okay. So then I did the reading and then the third card that came up was the lovers. I was like, I don't
Wow.
know about love or if that was on your mind, but I think that's a message. I think that's a sign. So for you, your main issue right now is the lovers, but the
Yeah.
lovers for me is more than just about that romantic love. It's about choosing to love somebody. It's a choice, right? And do we choose to love the same people at 16 that we love, the type of energy when we're 20 or when we're 30? As you get older, you're even the way you love and who you love matures,
Yes.
because you're when the younger you are, we focus on how a person looks. Oh, he made me feel good, giddy. Oh, he's so sexy. But as you get older, you start to look more at who a person is, who they are.
Yes.
Because as you get older in life, you're gonna be sitting on the couch talking, having conversations. So can you hold a conversation? Are you a good person? Are you a kind person? Are you the perfect husband? That's what we need to know. So
Yes. A respectful person. Yeah.
yes, I like that for you, Elizabeth.
Hmm.
Ooh, we get to see. We get to see.
I've been waiting, girl.
Okay, you've been waiting, but guess
I've
what?
been
The Ten of
waiting.
Cups. Ten of Cups is the second card. And the Ten of Cups for me is about fulfillment. Ten of Cups for me is that energy of happily ever after. I mean, that's that it doesn't get better than this. So you got the lovers, you got the Ten of Cups. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to go to all the weddings. Now I
You're
gotta
on
get,
the top of the list.
yeah. That's why I told Salim when he got it 4 times. I'm like, now just get back to me. Now I gotta find a new dress or another dress to wear. So we got the lovers, we got the Ten of Cups, and that's fulfillment because the next card that you have is the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles for me is my miser card. It's not just about money though, because money is not just about cash. It's about the physical manifestation. So whenever I see the miser, it tells me about holding on too tight. She has these four pentacles and she's holding on too tight. So in conjunction with the lovers and in conjunction with the Ten of Cups, that to me is about holding on too tight to even ideas, things, a way we think a person should be, a way a person should look, right? It's
Mhm.
also my shopping card. And that's because the miser doesn't understand that money is a current, that a current has to flow. It's a currency. It can't, if you hold on too tight, because they say for whoever gives, he is blessed tenfold. So yes, you may hold on to those 10 pentacles, but if you would have given those four pentacles, then you would have had 40 coins and not just four. So in relations to, it's just about opening, being open, and I know you're open, but this is just about just not holding on too tight. Okay.
Yeah, I'm continuing to grow and improve every day. Yep.
That's all of us every day. That's why I'm doing reading after reading after reading after reading, because my meanings change, the messages change, my delivery changes. Maybe I'll say something to someone, I'm like, ooh, I probably shouldn't have said that. And I'm not gonna tell y'all which ones, which videos, but you live, you learn, and you grow. And it's time for some happiness, Elizabeth,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Yes.
Four swords. Four swords. The four of swords for me, you got two fours, is about healing. For me,
Yes.
it's
Mhm.
about healing, right? It's about understanding that in the three of swords, there was some loss, there was some pain. These things were real. They not imagined, they happened. Okay. But guess what? You have to rest, you have to heal. And I always equate the four of swords to us personally, like if we were a car and we're trying to drive this car on empty, right? No, because so often after we have lost, we keep getting back up, getting back up, getting back up. And I always say sometimes I have to stay down in order to get back up with at 100%, or to get back up with a full tank. That's
Yeah.
what the energy of the four of swords for me is about: resting, about healing. It also symbolizes an expression that I was told that Oprah Winfrey says. Oprah says that when most people don't know what to do, they have to do something. She says, I don't do anything until I know what to do. So that's the energy of the four of swords, is that even if they're, because there's swords, it's ideas, it's thoughts. Maybe you have the choice of multiple people around you. You're like, I don't know. Should I take them? Should I take them? Should I take them? I don't know. Well, you don't have to do anything. There's nobody saying that you have to move in any direction. When you know what's best and what's right for you, you'll make it happen. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the next card that you have is the Tower. The Tower, right? The
Hmm.
Tower is a major arcana card. Arcana means change. You have major arcana cards, which are major life changes. These are things that change the course of history. These are your deaths, your births, your marriages, your divorces. These are things where life will never be the same. This is those jobs. Maybe you quit, maybe, but you're not going back. These are changes, crossroads when you go in a different direction. So those are major arcana cards. You've primarily had minor arcana cards, except for the lovers. Minor arcana cards are things that change the course of the day, things that happen today. You know what I mean? That may mean that one of your branches fall off your tree. Okay, we pick it up, we put it back, but it's not going to change the course of history, right?
Hmm.
Somebody comes and gives you a rose today. Oh, it's nice. It's a sweet gesture, but they're not proposing marriage. It's just something that affects you today. So the
Hmm.
Tower for me is about unexpected changes. It's a major arcana card, unexpected changes. So the Tower, in the Tower, the lightning, it hits the lightning strikes the Tower, and there's no way you could predict it. There's no way that you can know that it's coming. You can't be like, oh, on Tuesday at 12 noon the lightning is about to hit the Tower. No, it's an unexpected change. But every change, and that's why I don't read reversals, I see everything that's positive. And I only want to speak positivity, right? Because then we open up for the highest good for everyone that's involved. So
Of
with the
course.
Tower, even though it's an unexpected change, the person who owns the tower, the king, is mad because his tower is now gone. But if there were slaves at the bottom of the tower, they're now free. So this unexpected change has removed something in their life that was holding them back, holding them where they know that in a place that no longer served them. So now this unexpected change, it allows them to be free. So for me, this is not about necessary catastrophic changes, but these are about necessary changes. And sometimes God Himself is trying to remove things from our life that we are holding on to. So I think if we're led, like you said, you begin to open and things come to you. If we heed the call, if we are led and we listen, those changes don't have to be catastrophic. right? They could be minor changes. The key is not the intensity of the change, it's just that unexpected change. This could also be somebody coming in and you're like, oh my God, a coworker, you're like, I never thought that he liked me like that. It's just about the unexpected. Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
The next card is the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords. And this, especially for you, is beautiful, because the Nine of Swords for me is about sleepless nights and it's about anxiety, right? And the
Mhm.
reason why I say it's so beautiful is because I always think of the minor arcana cards like that survey, that customer service survey, that we all get when the business is like, okay, well, what do you think of our customer service from 0 to 10? And you're like, 10 is excellent. And one is like, everybody need to be fired, right?
Mhm.
So those are the levels in the minor arcana. So fives are usually your challenges, the challenge point. So anything above the five tells you that the worst is over. So
Oh,
in the
thank goodness.
nine, she does have sleepless nights and she does have anxiety, but it's based on what has happened in the past, what has occurred in the past. So Mariah Carey has this song, and in the lines of the song, she says, "Baby, I know you think my love is slipping away, but it's all in your mind." So that's the symbolic of the Nine of Swords for me, is that any fears, any worries, any stress, anything like that you have, it's all in your mind. Nothing to worry about. All is well. And yes, again, we've all had losses. That loss you had in the Three of Swords, it was real, but it's not going to happen again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, that's good to hear. Yeah.
Okay. So the next card that you have is the Magician. The Magician. So the Magician is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. One of my favorite cards. It's a major arcana card. In tarot, the fool goes through the major arcana and he learns different lessons. And so the tarot is called the Fool's Journey because there's an expression that says God protects fools and infants. And the reason that is because fools and infants are the only two people that don't think they know everything. Okay. So
Mhm.
the fool's journey, tarot is about being open, open like the fool. And the fool steps out on faith. He leaps off the mountain. He takes a leap of faith in order to go through this journey. So when the fool, who is zero, which has unlimited possibilities, his first step, card one, is he learns the lesson of the magician, right? So
Mhm.
you are the magician, Elizabeth. But what I call the magician for me is my Wizard of Oz card. It's my Dorothy card, right? And the
Mhm.
reason that is because Dorothy goes all around the mulberry bush. She goes all around Oz. She meets some people. She talks. She's scared of people. People get hurt. Yada yada. But she comes what all the way back to realize that she had the power all along.
Yeah.
But all she had to do was click her heels together 3 times and she could have been home, but it wouldn't have made for such an interesting movie. You know what I mean? It'd be like a
Yeah.
2-second movie. Like, I'm in Oz, click the heels together, I'm home. That would have been the movie. So you have to go through these experiences. So
Yeah.
when the fool starts off his journey, he has all the tools. He has everything he needs to get wherever he wants to go. He just doesn't know that he has them, and the gifts that he has, he doesn't know how to use. Okay. And sometimes you need that person to come in, that fairy godmother, to be like, you had the power all along. Okay.
Yeah.
Your next card is the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords, some people read the Seven of Swords as deceit. Okay. Or basically like deceit. Again, in my Pollyanna mind, I don't see any negativity. There is no negativity. For me, the Seven of Swords is always my Trojan horse card. Trojan horse. And the reason the Seven of Swords is a Trojan horse is because back in the days of war, they used the Trojan horse because the Trojan horse would go in the gates of the enemy, of the opposite side. and all of the soldiers were hidden in the Trojan horse. And so once they got inside, they hopped out and then they took over the whole kingdom or the whole castle. So for me, the Seven of Swords sometimes is a reminder that you can't go approach this situation head on. You sometimes you have to approach this situation and you have to think, you have to be crafty and say, how am I going to make this happen? So the most positive example of this is I always tell this story with my kids, especially my son. My son loved to run his little self off. He would be running around everywhere, right? And I could never tell my son it's time to go to bed. I would always say, let's go, come lay down with mommy, come talk to mommy. And then he would get it. I knew he was tired because he would
Mhm.
get cranky, right?
Yeah.
So I would lay down with him, we would talk, and guess what happened? He fell asleep.
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes there are certain situations you have to approach in a different way. It's just simple as a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Sometimes you need a little sweetness and to do it a different way because people are like, I'm not taking that cod liver oil or whatever it is because it, no. So you just have to approach it a different way. Does that make sense?
Totally. Yep.
Okay, because your next card is the hangman. The hanged man. The hangman is also a major arcana card and is also a second message coming up again with the seven of swords. And the hangman is a major, like I said, major lesson is looking at something from a different way. Hanging out, not just like, oh, this is my way, this is the way it has to go. No, look at it a different way. Look at it from a different perspective, which again is basically the same message of the seven of swords. It's about this situation, look at it a different way, right? And again with the four of swords, before you do anything, just chill out, wait, be clear. And I use this expression, like, I've never shot a gun in my life, I've never been in the army, but it just came to me. It was like, wait until you have a clear shot, which means again, wait until you know exactly the right move to make in this situation. Okay.
I totally understand that. So, like, I'm a Libra background, so I'm always just looking at what's going on in front of me, and I can see it from many different angles.
Mhm.
So, I totally resonate with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I did a 10 card reading. I always do 10 cards. I always give the first card and the 10th card because those are the strong, the bookends for me, right? So the first card is always your main issue, your main theme. Everything else is the ingredients in the sandwich. You know what I mean? The lettuce, the tomatoes, they're there, but they could be removed or whatever. And then the 10th card is always the final outcome. It always sums it up for me. At the end of the day, Sharifa, what are you trying to say? What does Elizabeth need to know? And that is the star. The star. And I think that's beautiful, beautiful omen because that's a major arcana card. And that I always think of that little girl, that little, not you, little Elizabeth that's in you, right? Like, what
Mhm.
were her dreams? What were her aspirations? I would really tap into that energy and then just
Okay.
wish upon a star, wish for whatever it is your heart's desire, and just trust that it will be given to you. So with the lovers, with the star, with the hangman, I see unexpected change, but it's also new energy coming in. You know what I mean? Just be clear on what you want. Does the reading resonate with you?
Yes. Totally. 100%. Yeah.
Do you have questions for me?
Um. I I guess not at this time. I'm trying to
Okay.
think of something, and nothing's coming to me right now.
Well, that's a
But
good sign.
you're totally on the right track of what I want. So, yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, I appreciate it. I thank you for allowing me to read for you. We have come down to the last few minutes of the show. And what I love to do at the end of every show is just simply allow my guests the opportunity to speak directly to the audience, to everyone who is watching this show live, as well as everyone who is watching in the archives, and let them know what you want them to take away from your appearance here today.
Well, I guess I'd like to say, I me, I like to help pay it forward and be giving. So I would say continue to help those in need, because we do need a lot of assistance and we need a lot more love out there. There's too many dark things going out, and we need to shine bright for those who need it the most. And thank you, Cherie, for doing this for me. I appreciate it, and I love you. I'm so thankful that I got to meet you when I did on this wonderful journey, and you continue to inspire me. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. I'm so glad I got to meet you. I thank you. I appreciate you. I want to thank you for being today's guest on Read Me Live. I want to thank everyone who tuned in to watch the show live, as well as everyone who was watching it in the archives. I definitely appreciate your support. Now, if you want to be right there where Elizabeth is, please visit my website at readmelive.com. Until next time, everyone have a safe